What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are back with another 3 looks 1 palette video. This time we are using the new Elements palette from Urban Decay Cosmetics. Now, as you know, 3 looks videos take a while, so go make sure you have clean undies on, maybe grab a snack, maybe make a cup of tea, perhaps a can of seltzer, whatever it is that suits your fancy. Get comfortable. So this palette is the latest release from Urban Decay. It is a round palette. It has 19 shades and it will be retailing for $52. I'm assuming that it will be available everywhere Urban Decay is sold. They didn't specify that either. So I tried to kind of add a little bit of a fall flair into these looks since we're coming into the fall months, but I wanted to make them more like almost like a transition into fall. So there's a little bit of brightness, a little bit of color still. Also, the fall weather is upon us, so I will be wearing probably a beanie from here until about April because I don't like to do my hair. So get used to that. So before we get started, please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a second to do that because it really helps me out and I would super appreciate it. And if you are new here, please don't forget to go ahead and subscribe because if you don't, you might forget later and then you're gonna regret it and then I'm gonna cry and then my lashes are gonna fall off. It's a whole mess. I think that's all we have to talk about before we get started. Let's zoom right in and get started on look number 1. Okay, so for the first look, I want to do something that's a little bit on the cool tone side and I want to include some glitter. And I want to do something that is not exactly, but like sort of inspired by the makeup that Shivaya wore in the Candlelight music video. I'm gonna start by putting down a dark base. I already put my usual primer on the upper part of my lids, but I stopped just about here. And I'm gonna pick up the MAC paint pot in the color Black Ground and I'm gonna put that on my eyes with a flat brush. I'm gonna use a MAC 242S for that. But in the video, she's got like a cool tone, gray, metallic, smoky eye, and there's like a lot of glitteriness over it, and it's just really, really pretty. And it's also very like intense, but diffused and not like a super structured look. So I figured this would be a good one to start off with because it's something that it gives a lot of intensity, but it's a little bit more easy to recreate than like some cut creases and other stuff that we tend to do sometimes. I'm bringing Black Ground up right into the crease and even a little bit above it, and I'm just gonna blend it out. Doesn't need to be blended super beautifully or anything, it just needs to be diffused so it's not a hard line. And the first color I'm gonna pick up from the actual palette itself is called Silver Burn, which is a funny name to me because when I was younger, I used to work at a barn-shaped grocery store called Silver Barn, and that is what it reminds me of. And no, it wasn't in the country, it was in the middle of New York City, and it's weird, it's weird. It also doesn't exist anymore. And I'm going to pat that color all over the lid where I put down the black background. So far, I'm really enjoying this color. I'm gonna take a MAC 221S brush and dip it into the shade Anecdote, which is just like a kind of tannish sort of a shade, and I'm gonna use that to blend out the edge of the top. I probably should have done this first. Sometimes I do things dumb, so this is one of those times. I took a break between steps to go downstairs and get a pickle, but 1 second. Sometimes I forget to eat before I start filming and then I can't concentrate because I'm too hungry. Okay, pickle break over. The Transformer shade, the one in the center, they're calling it a Transformer, which basically means that you put it over another shadow to transform the way it looks. Picking it up on a Sigma E30 pencil brush, and I'm going to wet that. Urban Decay did specify that you can use any of the shades in this palette, even the mattes wet, so that's kind of fun. I just wet that with a little bit of Fix Plus, and I'm gonna pop that right in the center. Ooh. Ooh, yes. That's pretty much exactly what I wanted. Just like a little pop of brightness. You can see the difference between the two eyeballs. It's a little bit of brightness, but not so much that it takes over the look. In the video that I was talking about earlier, Shivaya is wearing like a half liner, like a half wing. So I'm gonna do something a little bit similar to that on the outer corner using the Kat Von D Dagger liner. Half liner is like so like sexy. I pickle in my teeth. Okay, for the inner corner, I want to do like a very bright spot there. Also like a metallic silver though. So I'm going to go into the shade Electric Air. This kind of has a little bit of like a purple tinge to it. It's mostly silver. I'm picking that up on an e.l.f. pencil brush and I'm going to wet that and put it heavily on the inner corner. Ooh, okay, we are getting reflective. I cleaned off my MAC 217 brush. It's a little stained, but it'll be fine. And I'm going into the color Antidote again. I'm going to sweep that under the lower lash line and I'm going to bring that down fairly low because I am going to blend darker shades into it closer to the lash line. I just want to kind of give that all something to blend into. I'm going to pick up a flat brush from Thrive Cosmetics. This is their smudge eyeliner brush. And I'm going to dip into the shade Fortune Teller and I am going to apply that wet to my lower lash line. This is like a brown, blue, green duochrome shade. It reminds me a bit of MAC Blue Brown Pigment. And again, I'm wetting that with Fix Plus and I'm going to just press that into the lower lash line and sweep it along. I'm going to blend the edge of that with a pencil brush. And for the waterline, I want to keep it nice and bright and metallic, so I'm going to pick up this silver pencil from Urban Decay in the color Cuff. And next, the other thing that kind of made her makeup stand out to me was that it had glitter over the whole thing, but it was like almost very dispersed loose glitter. I've been doing that in a few looks lately and I really like the way it comes out, but there's a little bit of a trick in my opinion to get it to look like that and also get it to wear well. So what I like to do is take a glitter gel eyeliner or like a glitter eyeshadow topper. So for today, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner in the color Glam Rock. And what I've been doing is taking a bit of whatever glitter gel and putting it on the end of a duo fiber brush. This is a Real Techniques duo fiber eye brush, and then just pressing the glitter on with the duo fiber brush over the entire area that I want it. You see how it just like immediately disperses it, but it still sticks down with the gel that the glitter comes in. So it's like super easy, but you still get this look and it stays on all day. It's delightful. I'm gonna go pop on some mascara and lashes and then we will pair this with a lip. These are the House of Lashes Original Iconic Lashes. I think they look very nice with this look. I love these lashes. I just got a new pair from them. I'm enjoying them. Okay, for the lip, I want to do a cool toned, sort of semi-cool toned matte nude, but I want it to be more of an ombre lip. So I'm going to use 3 different shades from Kat Von D in their liner pencils. These are the colors Crucifix, Hawkwind, and Bow and Arrow. I'm going to use them from the outside into the inside. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And I'm just gonna brighten the center a little bit with Ophelia Studded Kiss lipstick. And this is the first look. For the second look, I want to do, I know I want to start with pink in the crease, but I'm not sure yet where I'm going from there. You guys probably already know because I probably showed you what it looks like in the beginning of this video. So I don't know much, but I know I want to start with pink. So I'm gonna go into the shade Dreamweaver here on this BH number 5 brush. And I'm gonna start putting that through my crease, but like above the crease a little bit, you know? And blend it with a clean blending brush. Next, I wanna deepen up that pink. So I'm gonna go into the shade Firestarter right here. This is like a brick red, but it has a tiny bit of glitter in it. It is a matte for the most part, so I think it'll be okay in the crease. I never really know what to do with shades that are matte that have like a little bit of shimmer. I'm like, So I have my BH number 7 brush, and I'm gonna put that through my crease. Yeah, that's definitely matte enough. It's not gonna be an issue. It's got like just a little schmittering of glitter there. Schmittering's not a word. Yet somehow it perfectly describes exactly what I want to say. This is actually building to such a nice deep red color. I was not expecting to get this much depth out of it, and it's gonna make my life a lot easier. So impressed with the color Firestarter. Next for the lid, I'm going to go into the color Sapphire Dream, and I'm wetting it with a little Fix Plus, and we're just going right in there. Ooh, that is, wow. That's like blue velvet. Got a little fallout with that one. Normal amount though. I'm gonna pick up a MAC 221S brush and go back into Firestarter and blend that into the crease. Just to blend the edge of that blue. So normally when I do a 3 looks 1 palette, I try to only use colors that are from the palette that we are featuring. However, this palette lacks a couple of things, which is pretty much so far my only gripe with it. I wish that there was a dark brown, and I wish that there was a black, but there are not those colors. So I'm gonna just real quick pop into my Urban Decay Born to Run palette and pick up a little bit of the color Jet, and I'm gonna use that to blend that blue into the outer portion of the crease and then just deepen up the outer corner here. You can use really any black shade you want, and honestly, I'm sure everybody has a black eyeshadow laying around, so it's not like that serious that there's not one in there. But personally, I always prefer when my eyeshadow palettes are like self-contained, you know? I wanna be able to make all of my looks with it without having to pick something else up. Whatever, here we are. Next, I'm going to pick up the shade Heavy Water on the same BH brush. This is a number 9, it's a little flat brush. I'm just going to pick that up and wet it with my MAC Fix Plus. I'm just going to pop that right in the center of the lid just to bring it up. There's a little fly. It's driving me crazy. Get out of here. Just going to pop that right in the center just to wake that up just a touch, just to make it, give it some life. The way that those two colors layer is really doing something to my soul right now. Wow. I went ahead and concealed underneath my eyes and put on some blush and some highlight because it's time to move on to the under eyes. I'm gonna smoke out the lower lash line with the same reds and pinks that we used on the top in the crease, but I want to bring that bluey, greeny, oceany color into the waterline. So I'm gonna use the Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in the color Electric. On that BH number 7, I'm going back into Dreamweaver. I'm just gonna start sweeping that underneath my lash line and connecting it into the top. I'm gonna bring that out pretty far too. We're going bold today. And on a MAC 219 pencil brush, going back into Firestarter again. I'm gonna grab a pencil brush and a little bit of Jet from the Born to Run palette again and just bring that along my lower lashes. And just to bring a little bit of brightness into the inner corner, I'm gonna go into the Transformer shade in the center, Luna, on a pencil brush. Ooh, that's pretty. This is dry, by the way. I didn't wet this time. And now, it's lashes time. For the lashes, I popped on the House of Lashes Siren lashes. They're a little bit on the smaller side. They're not the most dramatic lashes in the world, but I figured because there was a lot of color going on, they'd be nice because they do lift and open the eye, but they also are like small enough that they're not gonna cover all that color that we just did. Speaking of all that color on the eyes, I don't want to overdo it with the lip. I don't want it to take away from the blue and the red and the blend and the whatever. So we're gonna keep the lip pretty neutral. I'm gonna start with the Kat Von D lip liner in Lolita 2. We are going to line and fill in our whole lip with this. And I am going to go over it with the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the new shade Diamond Milk. I actually did a whole video where I played with the new anniversary releases, including this and the Diamond Bomb highlighter. If you haven't seen yet, go ahead and click right up here on the screen if you want to go watch that. I'm just going to go over the whole lip with this gloss. This is the second look. I have foundation and dog hair on my beanie, and none of you told me, not one of you thought, hey, can I give her a heads up? Fake friends. Stop for another pickle break. I have to tell you that I feel rejuvenated when I stop for a pickle break. Enough goofing around. Let's start look number 3. This one's gonna be semi-neutral. Maybe a little bit neutral. I'm gonna start by going into the shade Elemental on my BH number 5 brush. Ooh, hello. It's a lot of color. It's a lot of color coming off. And blending that with a clean brush. On a Real Technique shading brush, I'm going to take that color also just on the outer corner of the lid. On the outer portion where we just put down that color, I'm going to use the shade Moon Rock to meet it on that same small brush, and I'm going to wet it with some MAC Fix Plus. Okay, we're definitely gonna need to dip into some black for the outer corner, but that's okay. I'm gonna go into the shade Volcanic on a clean Real Technique shading brush. I'm gonna put that on the inner portion. Okay, so I do definitely need to dip into another palette to deepen this up a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't like doing this, but it's necessary. I'm gonna try to use shades though that like you definitely have in other things, you know what I mean? Something that's easy to dupe out. So I'm gonna go into the shade Punk from Born to Run, and I am going to apply that with a MAC 221S brush on the outer corner and into the crease. I want to add like a little bit of a pop of color with an eyeliner. So picking up the Suva Beauty Hydro Liner in the shade Freezy, and I'm going to activate that with some MAC Fix Plus. These are water activated. I'm gonna let that get nice and juicy for a second and then apply it with an angle brush. I'm gonna be using the Sigma EO6 winged liner brush. Now that that liner is on and popping, I want to add like a double wing situation with white. This will either make this look or completely ruin it. We'll find out. We will see. So I'm going to pick up the Urban Decay Razor Sharp Liner in the color Bump, which is white. Oh God, I'm nervous. It can smell my fear. So I messed up right there, but that's actually okay because I messed up in the right direction, meaning that I messed up by putting it over the teal liner instead of over the shadow, which is a lot easier to fix because we just go back into the teal with the same brush that we used earlier and fix it. Okay, so is that the greatest graphic liner of my entire life? No. Is it passable? Yeah. So I'm gonna try, God help me, to match this on the other eye, and then we are going to continue the underneath portion. We're gonna bring in some more color from the palette. Okay, that eye actually was easier. Neither of them are completely perfect, but they're okay. I can live with them. For the waterline, I want to keep it really open, so I'm gonna pick up my Walk of Shame liner pencil, also from Urban Decay, and run that through my waterline. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the shade Earthbound on a pencil brush, and I'm gonna start running that underneath my lower lash line. I'm gonna pick up a little more of that on the MAC 266S angled brush, and I'm just gonna start kind of blending that color into the bottom of that graphic liner. So that way it's kind of like a soft line on the bottom in contrast to the hard liner on the top. And picking up my BH number 7 brush again, I'm going to go into this shade Antidote, which is this soft brown shade right here. I'm just gonna softly blend the edge of that with that, just to make sure the blend is nice and blendy. Next, I'm gonna take a black liquid liner. This is the Kat Von D Dagger liner, and I'm just gonna run that like really, really close to the lash line just to give the lash band a place to sit, because we're gonna use some fairly bold lashes and you want it to have something to sit on so it doesn't look like it just ends and then meh. I'm just gonna grab a pencil brush and that Luna Transformer shade again, and I'm gonna pop that on my inner corner, brighten that bitch up. I think I'm gonna actually wet it with some Fix Plus this time though, see if it gets a little bit more metallic if we do that. I'm gonna go toss on some mascara and we'll figure out what the hell we're doing with these lips. This is definitely one of those looks that came together once the lashes went on, which thank God, because I felt like it was a little touch and go for a moment there. So to kind of contrast the teal colors that we have going on here, and also to make this more of a fall look, I want to do like a burnt orange lip. So I'm going to start with a pencil that's not a lip pencil, but sometimes I use it as a lip pencil, and you probably shouldn't use it as a lip pencil, but I do. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 liner pencil in the color Torch. Like, is that not a perfect burnt orange lip? It is, but it's an eyeliner, but it's perfect. And here is the third look. Now that we've done 3 looks with this palette, let me give you my thoughts. The formula of the palette is beautiful. The color selection is beautiful. My biggest gripe with this palette is I wish it had a few more matte shades that were darker. So like maybe a dark chocolate brown, a black, maybe like a dark gray, just a few more colors that would ground the looks without having to reach into another palette. Because like you saw in the tutorial portion, I did have to reach into the Urban Decay Born to Run palette to get a couple of shades to make these looks more complete. Obviously it has a ton of fun colors that give you plenty of variety, but for me personally, I like when I can just get complete looks from a palette without having to reach into other palettes to complete them. That being said, I did do the first look without reaching into any other eyeshadows, so it's not 100% necessary. It's just that I feel like a lot of looks really require like a really deep dark brown or a nice pitch black shade to make them look finished, and this doesn't have that, and I wish it did. So as far as the packaging is concerned, usually I'm not crazy about round packaging like this because I feel like when eyeshadows are in a round palette like this, it wastes a lot of space and you wind up not being able to fit it in your makeup bag if you want to bring it with you or something. But in this case, I actually don't mind because although that is still true, I like that this is set up almost like a color wheel because I feel like that helps my brain make color combinations. Other palettes that have a lot of colors like this in it, the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette being one of them, for example, they have a lot of great colors and they're beautiful palettes, but I don't think up as many looks with them because when I look at them as a whole, they don't make that much sense to me. This layout makes sense to me and I really appreciate that. And also, I think the outside of the packaging is really pretty. It kind of looks like almost like an opal or something, like a very colorful opal in the back. And there is another inlay. It kind of all has like a little bit of like a geode feel to it. It's very pretty and it definitely goes along with the Elements theme. I like the packaging as a whole. I did feel like the shimmers were especially soft, but not in a bad way. It just felt like they were very buttery and creamy, so I picked up a lot of color on my brush. There was a little bit of fallout with some of the shades, but not a ton. And as far as the Transformer shade in the middle, I think it's very, very pretty. Don't see myself personally getting a ton of use out of it, so if they had put like a really bomb-ass highlight shade in there, I think that would have been better for me, but it is very pretty. And if you do like the idea of using it as a shadow transformer over the other shadows, I think you'll like it a lot. It's just that for me, I don't find that super duper appealing. I would rather have like a really, really sick highlight shade. There have been a lot of new palettes coming out recently. So if you are kind of between which Urban Decay palette you want and you don't know whether to go for this or Born to Run, personally, I think I would still go with Born to Run. But if you're looking for more shimmers and not necessarily a palette that's going to be your everyday go-to palette that you want to bring with you like Born to Run, because Born to Run is super, super complete. It's definitely my go-to travel palette these days. But if you're just looking for something that's like easier for you to make fun looks with, then in that case, the Elements palette might be for you. If I personally was only going to choose one of them though, I would probably go with Born to Run. Overall though, I really enjoyed working with this palette. I feel like the first look was really, really sultry and very easy to achieve. The second look was actually one of my favorite looks that I've done in quite a while. This one, I was really trying to showcase the neutrals in the palette and I think they performed beautifully. I still got a pretty fun look out of it. And overall, I enjoyed it very much, so I don't think that I could say too many negative things about it. I do wish, oh God, if it had a black in there, it would have been really perfect, honestly. Let me know in a comment down below which of the 3 looks was your favorite, and also let me know if you think that you would be more inclined to use this one or Born to Run more. I would love to know what you think. Please do not forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a second to do that, because it really helps me out and I would really appreciate it. It lets me know that you guys are enjoying this type of content and it also helps more people see my videos, which is always always super helpful. Also, if you are new here, a ton of you are new here. I know this for a fact because I can check my analytics, and often people watching are not subscribed. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe because I put out new videos all the time, and I would love to have you stick around for more. If you feel like you want to keep up with me between videos, I am all over social media, pretty much everywhere you want to find me. I am at Miss Quinface. My biggest platform that I use the absolute most is Instagram. I unbox things on my stories all the time. I post lip art on my feed. We just talk behind the scenes. We do Q&As. I run polls about which videos I'm going to do next. Everything goes down on Instagram. A lot of it goes down on Instagram stories. Come find me over there and let me know you came from YouTube. That is all for today. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.